Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we'll be discussing some more not parasummary, critical listening questions that are generally useful for your RC section in CAT and other management entrance examinations. As you know, RC is a combination of both your critical listening as well as your reading comprehension skills. So if you are able to read an article or if you are having a very good reading speed and comprehension skill, the next best skill that you should have is the logical ability or the critical reasoning, where you are going to analyze the facts that are provided to you, then look at the inferences, assumptions, conclusions, etc., and arrive at the answers based on the question. So this is why we will be doing more critical listening questions so that your skill can be enhanced to the maximum level by the time you appear for the actual examination of CAT. All right. So as usual, I'm asking or I rather request you to go through the exercise first by clicking on the link that is provided in the video description. Attempt the exercise and then come back and watch the video so that your learning can be maximized and whatever points we are talking about, you are able to grasp without any difficulty. All right, so we will go to the first question. So the first question is basically talking about a an argument by the author saying that the reduction in crime rates in a town called Flatsburg in a particular county is has reduced significantly over the past 30 years. So 30 years ago, the town had a very high crime rate or one of the highest crime rates in that particular county. County is equivalent to that of a district in India. So when we are talking about USA, they say county. So after since then the crime rate has dropped significantly, and the reason attributed is the introduction of certain factories or the coming up of certain factories in that the particular town, which provided employment to the people, and because of that the crime rate went down. So this is the argument. So basically the argument is saying that the reduction in crime rate in this particular town is basically because of the reduction in unemployment. So because the unemployment reduced by around 65% after the after the commissioning of the factories in that particular area. Now, what is your question? It is asking you to provide find an option that is supporting the economist expression. The economist is explaining that it is because of the reduction in unemployment that the crime rate has reduced. So you have to find a statement that supports this explanation. Option A, many other towns in the county with low crime rates have low unemployment rates. So it is basically doing a comparison. It says that there are other towns in this particular county where there is low crime rate because of low unemployment rate. So it is indirectly saying that wherever unemployment rate is very low, crime rate also tend to reduce. So this is indirectly supporting whatever facts are given in the passage. So a probable answer, even though it is not directly talking about this particular term, it is giving you a general theory which supports the phenomena that we are talking about in this particular instance. So this could be a probable answer. Keep it in your mind. Option B, the size of the police department in Plattsburgh and the responsibility of the officers have remained relatively constant for the past 30 years. What does this statement imply? This statement implies that the police department's efficiency has not increased too much in the past 30 years, or that law enforcement system has not undergone any particular improvement over the past 30 years. So what is the indirect implication? It is not because of effective law enforcement that the crime rate has reduced. It is because of uh, some other reason. Because the option is not talking directly about reduction in unemployment. It is saying that whatever reasons are there for the reduction in crime rate, it is not because of effective law enforcement, or it is not because of efficient policing. So this option is not directly supporting the argument of the economist, because the economist is not explaining about the reduction in crime rate. The economist is the economist focus is that the reduction in crime rate is because of the reduction in unemployment. So this option is not talking about that. It only says that the reduction in crime rate is not because of effective law enforcement. So it could be because of many other factors. If you accept this option is not directly supporting the economist argument. So it is not an effective or an effective statement that supports the explanation of the economist, because it is not supporting the explanation. Often see most of the jobs offered by the new factories pay significantly more than the minimum wage. So what does it say? It is directly supporting what economist is saying. So economist is saying that it is because of the jobs that are provided by the factories that the unemployment rate has gone down, as a result of which crime rate has also gone down. Often see saying that not only are the factories providing jobs to the people, the salaries that they are paying, they are also very good. So they are significantly more than the minimum wage. So very good salaries or very attractive salaries are being paid by the factories to the employees. So this reduces the need for the people to seek any other methods of money gathering. So as a result of which, they do not have any motivation or any kind of motive to indulge in crimes, because they not only are they employed, they are getting very good salaries. So there is no point or no need to indulge in crimes at all. So this is directly supporting the argument of the economy. So whereas option A was indirectly supporting, but we have a more effective statement that is directly supporting. So our question is to find a statement that provides a maximum support. So option C will become the answer for us at present. Now we will go to the next one. Option D, most of the crimes committed by the citizens of Plattsburgh occur in the evening. This is completely irrelevant. We are not concerned about when the crimes are committed. So that is not going to support or weaken our economic explanation in any way. Option E, over the past 30 years, the crime rate increased in most of the towns in the county. So it says that other towns in the county crime rates have increased, whereas in Plattsburgh crime rates have decreased. This also is not directly supporting the argument, because the reason for the reduction in crime rate is not at all mentioned in this particular option. So that is why this again is wrong. So the only correct answer or the best answer will be option C. All right, go to the next one. So it is talking about a credit cards company which wrongly calculated the interest payable by the clients. What is a credit card company? A company that is giving a credit. So you have a credit limit in your account. You make some purchases using that credit limit, and then the company will charge some interest. Then you have to pay within a particular time. You have to pay the money that you have drawn from your credit card plus the interest that is charged by the company. That is how a credit card system works. So here what happened, this particular credit card company made some mistakes in calculating the interest that the clients have to pay. But the accountant of the company is saying that this is not going to affect the profit of the company, or there is not going to be any change in the profit even after you rectify the error, because the number of people who have been overcharged are equal to the number of people who have been undercharged. That is the meaning. Means he says that the number of clients whose interest has been calculated higher than the actual interest payable by them is equal to the number of people whose interest has been calculated, which is lower than the actual interest payable by them. So since the number of clients who have been overcharged are equal to the number of clients who have been undercharged, the net profit of the company is not going to be affected even if the error is rectified. That is the claim made by the chief accountant. Now, what is the US question? Your statement is to find a reasoning error that the accountant is making, concluding that correcting its client statements would leave bank cards profits unaffected. Means even if you correct that error that is done by the company, the profits are not going to be affected. This is the claim of the chief accountant. What is the reasoning error he is making? So what is the mistake in the logic made by the chief accountant? That is the question you have to answer. Now, what is the mistake in the logic? Even if without going through the options, you can very clearly see the mistake in the logic. See, the chief accountant is saying that the number of people who have been charged higher is equal to the number of people who have been charged lower. Will it be a correct thing? So when the profit of the company is not going to be affected, the amount that has been overcharged is equal to the amount that has been undercharged. So in such a case, the net impact on the profit of the company will be zero, because the amount that has been overcharged will be set off against the amount that has been undercharged. So there will not be any impact on the profit of the company. So this is the reasoning that the chief accountant should have done. See, this chief accountant is talking about the number of people who have been undercharged and overcharged, whereas the correct logic should have been the amount of interest that has been calculated, which is exceeding the actual interest, is equal to the amount of interest that has been calculated, which is lower than the actual interest. So that both will set off against each other, then there will not be any impact on the profit. This should have been the logic. So that is the so the reasoning error you can easily find out even without going through the options. Now, once you have the answer, you can easily eliminate the wrong answers. Relying on the reputation of bank card as a trustworthy credit service to maintain the company's clientele after the error becomes widely known. So this option says that the mistake made by the accountant is in assuming that the clients will continue to remain with this particular company even after this mistake is publicized because the company has a good reputation. This is not relevant because our question is how the profits are going to be unaffected as per the chief accountant. Is it correct or not? So whether the clients will remain with the company or leave the company after this error becomes known is not at all part of our discussion. So this is wrong. Option B, failing to establish that bank card charges the same rates of interest for all its clientele. So it says that the accountant is not clearly saying that the rate of interest that the card company is charging for all the people are same. Is it necessary? See the interest, how the interest will be calculated, the interest that the client has to pay. It is dependent on the rate of interest as well as the amount that is outstanding. Whatever amount the customer has to pay back, that is the credit amount. So the interest is calculated basically on the credit amount plus the interest rate. So even if the interest rate is same, will the interest amount will become same? No, it depends on the outstanding amount or the amount that is due by the client to the card company. So even if the rate is same or different, it is not going to affect the outcome because the main thing is the amount outstanding. So interest is calculated basically on the outstanding amount. So the outstanding amount is the main factor that determines what will be the interest that the clients or the customers have to pay. The interest rate is a secondary factor, even if the interest rate is same or the interest rate is different. If depending on the outstanding amount, the interest will vary. So that is why this option is also not a good option. Option C, overlooking the possibility that the amount by which bank card clients have been overcharged might be greater than the amount by which they have been undercharged. Yes, the accountant has overlooked this possibility or the accountant has ignored this possibility that the amount overcharged need not be equal to the amount undercharged. True. That is what we are saying because the accountant is only talking about the number of people who have been overcharged or undercharged, whereas what he should be looking for is the amount that has been overcharged and undercharged. If that amount is the same, then there is no effect on the profit. But if the amount is different, there will be an effect on the profit. That is what the option says that if the accountant has ignored the possibility that the amount that has been overcharged may not be equal or it is greater than the amount which has been undercharged. So in such case, what happens? When you correct the amount error, what will happen? The company will have to pay more amount from its pocket, so its profits will be affected. So this is a good answer. Keep it in your mind. Option D, assuming that the clients who had been overcharged by Vanguard had not noticed the error in their credit bills. So even if the people have not noticed, it is the duty of the company to rectify the error. Whether the clients have noticed or not noticed is not a problem. So even if the accountant is assuming that the people have not noticed, it is not going to make any difference. So this is a wrong answer. Option E, presupposing that each one of bank card clients had either been overcharged or else undercharged. So here the option says that the accountant is assuming that every client of bank card is either overcharged or undercharged. It need not be true because it is not necessary that all the clients have been either overcharged or undercharged. The accountant is only saying that the number of people who have been overcharged is equal to the number of people who have been undercharged. It is not necessary for him to establish that all the clients of the company have been either overcharged or undercharged. Not necessary because his logic is that the number of people who have been overcharged is equal to the number of people who have been undercharged. So that is why this option is also wrong. The correct answer is option C, because only when we talk about the amount of interest that has been charged, that has been erroneously charged. If the amount that is higher and the amount that is lower, if they become equal, then only the profit will be unaffected. Either otherwise, the profit will definitely be affected. So that is why option C will be your answer. All right. The third question is talking about a particular act that has been passed by a particular state, and this act is known as a Clean Air Act, and it was passed uh, uh, 10 years ago. And after the passage of that, what has happened? The pollution has fallen by 18%. This is the first argument. And what is the argument? So it suggests that the restriction on industry embodied in the act have been effective. So the first argument is that the Clean Air Act was effective because after it has been implemented, there has been an 18% decrease in the pollution. But then the next argument comes. What is the next argument? During the same period, the state suffered through a period of economic decline. So during the same 10-year period, what had happened? There was an economic decline, as a result of which a lot of businesses closed down. So the number of businesses fell by 10%, number of employees fell by 12%. And the second argument is that it is probable that the decline in the number of businesses, rather than the regulation in the act, is responsible for at least half of the decline in the pollution. So the pollution decline. So the second argument is that the reduction in pollution is not fully due to the Clean Air Act. It can at least half of the reduction in pollution is due to the reduction in the number of businesses during the 10-year period. So there is a 10% reduction in businesses. There is a almost 20% reduction in pollution. So it says that with the 20% reduction in pollution, out of which 10% should be because of the number of businesses that have been closed down. That is why at least half the decline in the pollution is due to the number of businesses. So two arguments. First argument is that Clean Air Act has been effective in reducing the pollution in that particular state during the last 10 years. Second argument is that no, there has been a reduction in the number of businesses in that particular state during the past 10 years. So 10% reduction in the businesses, 12% reduction in the number of employees, as a result of which the reduction in the businesses are also responsible for the reduction in the pollution. So that is the second argument. Now, which of the following is an assumption made in the passage? So assumptions we know are unstated facts that we can derive from the stated facts and which supports the conclusion or the argument. So any unstated fact that is supporting the argument. There are two arguments in the passage. So any unstated fact which is supporting either of these arguments can be taken as an assumption. Option A, most businesses in the state have obeyed the regulations embodied in the Clean Air Act. Is this a good assumption? If most businesses in the states have obeyed the regulations, what would have happened? The reduction in pollution should be more than 18%. We know that during the last 10 years, reduction is around 18%. So if all the businesses have, at least most of the businesses have obeyed the regulations, the reduction should have been more than 18%. So this is not a good assumption because it is not supported by the facts given in the passage. Any assumption should be supported by the facts given in the facts, and assumptions indirectly should support the arguments or the conclusions. This is a very important theory in critical reasoning that you should be remembering. We have discussed this theory in detail in our critical reasoning basics video. So if you have not watched that video, please go back and watch the video. Option B, the economic decline of the state can be attributed to the Clean Air Act. So it says that partly the economic decline is due to the effect of the Clean Air Act. Again, an assumption that is not supported by the facts. Nowhere in the passage it is stated that it is because of the Clean Air Act that number of businesses declined. It says that during the same period, the state also suffered through a period of economic decline. So it has not been connected to the Clean Air Act in any way. So you cannot say that the economic decline is partly due to the Clean Air Act. Again, an unsupported assumption. Option C, the amount of air pollution in a given area is likely to be proportional to the number of businesses and workers active in that area. Yes, a good assumption. Why? Because the passage is arguing that it is due to the reduction in the number of businesses that the pollution has reduced to some extent. So at least half of the reduction in the pollution is due to the reduction in the number of businesses. But that how that argument is made, that will be the passage is only saying that there is a reduction in the number of businesses. So 50% decline in pollution is due to that. So what the author is assuming when he's making that argument is that he assumes that businesses, whatever businesses are there in a particular state, it has a direct bearing on the pollution. So if the number of businesses are reducing, it means the pollution is reducing. So amount of air pollution is directly proportional to the number of businesses and workers active in that area. This is the assumption that is supporting the conclusion or the second argument. So this is a good assumption. Keep it in your mind. Option D, the restrictions on business activity in other states are less stringent than those are according to the Clean Air Act. We are talking about other states. See, whenever there is a comparison with other states, when you have put data regarding other states given to us, this is completely irrelevant because this option is talking about the clauses in the Clean Air Act, which are very strict in this particular state, not so strict in other states. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But is this having any bearing or on the this thing? Our arguments, no. And is this supported by any facts given in the passage? Again, no. So an assumption should be supported by the facts in the passage. Since it is not supported, this cannot be a good assumption. Option E, the Clean Air Act has only been very slightly successful in achieving the goal of reduced air pollution. Again, is it supported? It says that the Clean Air Act has been very slightly successful. But the passage says that at least half of the decline in pollution is due to the reduction in the businesses. So the other half is definitely due to the Clean Air Act. Whereas the option says that Clean Air Act is very slightly successful. That is again wrong because 18% reduction in pollution has happened. So even if you attribute 9% to business decline, 9% is again due to the Clean Air Act. So you cannot say that it is very slightly successful. It means it is only very marginally successful. No, wrong. It is not supported by the passage. Passage is contradicting it. So again, wrong. So the clear and correct answer is option C. All right, the next question. Again, the same passage. So your task is reduced to that bit, means you need not have to read a fresh passage and understand it. Same passage, you can directly go to the question. What is the question? Which of the following would weaken the conclusion drawn in the above passage above? So what is the ultimate conclusion drawn in even though there are two arguments in the passage, what is the ultimate conclusion? Ultimate conclusion is that the reduction in pollution is not exclusively due to the Clean Air Act. It is also partly due to the reduction in businesses that the state has witnessed during the past 10 years. So this is the conclusion. Now, anything that weakens the conclusion should be our answer. During the last 10 years, economic conditions, the nation as a whole have been worse than those within the state. Means in the country, the economic decline is far greater than within the state. This is not going to weaken the conclusion in our way. Our conclusion is only about this particular state. Our conclusion is not about other states. Since our conclusion is not dealing with other states, we cannot make any comparison here. So this is irrelevant answer. This is neither supporting nor weakening our conclusion. Option B, amendments to the Clean Air Act that were enacted 6 years ago have substantially strengthened the restrictions on industrial pollution. What is the meaning? Means there were certain changes made in the Act 6 years ago, and as a result of which the reduction in pollution was there was significant reduction in pollution. Yes, 6 years ago there might have been some changes, but what is the ultimate reduction in pollution? 18% after 10 years. Out of which the passage is arguing 9% due to the decline in businesses, 9% due to Clean Air Act. So is this statement weakening that in any way? No, it is not weakening. It is only saying that 6 years ago there were some changes made as a result of which the act became very strict. So yes, could be true. But at the end of 10 years, there was an average reduction of 18%, out of which the passage is arguing 9% due to the act, 9% due to reduction in pollution. So that is not weakened in any way by this statement. So again, wrong. Option C, of the businesses that ceased operating in the state during the last 10 years, only 5% were engaged in air polluting industries. Yes, there is something there. Why? Our argument is that there was a 10% reduction in air pollution industries, there was a 10% reduction in industries as a result of which the pollution has gone down. This option is saying that out of this 10%, only 5% were engaged in air polluting industries. Only half of these particular 10% was engaged in air polluting industries. So even if that half is reduced, it would still make this 9% reduction cannot be attributed to the decline in businesses, because only 5% is reduction will be there due to air polluting industries, and 10% reduction will not be there. So the ultimate argument in the passage is at least half of the decline in the pollution is due to the businesses that have closed down, whereas this option will mean that half of the decline in pollution cannot be attributed to the businesses, because only 5% of the closed businesses were making any pollution. So this is a probable answer. Keep it in your mind. Option D, several large corporations left the state during the last 10 years, partly in order to avoid compliance with the Clean Air Act. So what does it mean? It means that a lot of big companies, since they did not want to comply with the Clean Air Act, they left the state. So it is indirectly supporting the argument, because it's either the large corporations might have been doing a lot of pollution. Since they closed down, what will happen? The pollution got. So this is again supporting the argument in the passage that it is because of the closure of the companies that pollution has come down partly. So this is a supporting statement, not a weakening statement. Option E, due to its small budget, the state office charged with enforcement of the Clean Air Act has prosecuted only 2 violators of the law. So it is saying that the enforcement of the act was not properly done. So what does it mean? The act was there, but it was not properly enforced. Even then, 18% reduction achieved. So what could be the reason? It could be because of the reduction in the number of businesses, or a lot of businesses which were polluting industries, they closed down, as a result of which the reduction went up to 18%, even though the act was not properly enforced or implemented. So this again is supporting the conclusion in the passage, not weakening it. So it is not our answer. So the only answer that weakens the conclusion is option C, because it says that the businesses have closed down, correct? But out of this, only very few percentage or a small percentage were polluting industries. Means others were non-polluting industries. So the reduction in pollution is not means half of the reduction in pollution cannot be attributed to the closed down industries. That is the meaning. So this is why it clearly weakens the argument. So option C will be our answer. All right, question number 5. So it is talking about a research done by a nutritionist on how massive doses of vitamin can affect people. So here, what he did, there were 3 sets of people, and all 600 people were there in each group. So the first group was taking 1,500 mg of vitamin C daily for a year, and in that group, less than 9% suffered serious cases of flu. So first group, they were taking 1,500 mg of vitamin C daily. So they in the less than 9% suffered serious cases of flu. And the second group, 600 people, 250 mg vitamin C. This is the standard recommendation that doctors are basically saying that one person should take, so 250 mg. So they took that, and 34% suffered one serious case of flu. And a group of another 600 people, they did not take any vitamin C tablets or anything. They were eating the natural diet and a balanced diet in which vitamin C is present. And among them, 32% suffered serious cases of flu. So this is the study. Now, which of the following theories you can derive from this particular study? So hypothesis is a theory that is not fully proven, something that we can, a general idea that we can derive from the evidences given to us. Option A, the effectiveness of vitamin C in preventing serious cases of flu increases in direct proportion to the amount of vitamin C taken. Means if you take more vitamin C, less cases of flu will be there. That is the hypothesis. So here, this hypothesis can be stated to be true in the first case and the second case. But going by the trend in the first and second cases, in the third case, They were having only a balanced diet. They were not taking any vitamin C supplements or tablets, but still their percentage is less than the second group. See? So we don't know whether the balanced diet, in a balanced diet, how much vitamin C they are getting. If it is more than 250 mg or less than 250 mg. If they are getting more than 250 mg, then the theory, you can say option A will be a correct theory. But if they are getting less than 250 mg, still their the disease percentage is less than the disease percentage in the second group. So it will not be supporting this hypothesis, because as per this hypothesis, if the amount of vitamin C is more, less number of people should be suffering from. So this is true in first and second cases, but in the third case, we cannot say, because we don't know how much vitamin C is these people are getting from a balanced diet, and they are having 32 percentage are suffering from flu. So as long as we don't know the amount of vitamin C, this first hypothesis cannot be taken as a correct hypothesis. You can option B, vitamin C is helpful in preventing diseases. Are we talking about all the diseases? We are only talking about flu. We are not talking about diseases in general. So we can only say the vitamin C, if taken in large quantities or minimum 250 mg, you can say it is helpful in preventing diseases. That's preventing flu, not diseases. So this again is wrong. Option C, doses of vitamin C that exceed the standard recommended by daily allowance of by 500% will reduce the incidence of cases of flu by 25%. So we are talking about the first and second cases. See, in the second case, you are taking 250 mg, and in the first case, you are taking 1500 mg. So it is exceeding by 500%. 500% of 250 is 1250. So you add 1250 plus 250, 1500. So if you take a dose of vitamin C that exceeds the standard recommended by 500%, it will reduce the incidence of cases of flu by 25%. How this 25% has arrived at first cases, this is 9, second case is 34, right? So first case you have a 9% incidence, second case you have 25 34% incidence. So 9 minus 25, 34 is 25. 25 divided by or you can say it is 4 times, right? Almost 4 times. So it is 25%, right? Because 9 fours are 36, we are taking 34 years, so 25%. So it appears like a good answer, but what is the problem here? See, the first group is not getting 9% illness. No, there's a fewer than 9% are getting illness. Means fewer than 9% means it can be anything between 0 to 9, less than 9%. So it is need not be 9. It can either be 0, it can either be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So if it is 0, then what is the percentage? As a percentage, if it is 0, 0% means it is 34% more are getting. It is like incidence of serious illness is around 100%, right? 100% less number of cases are there if it is 0. So that is why this 25% will not become correct. If the number of cases are 5%, what will happen? 5 divided by 35 into 3, it comes to around 90%. So it will be here 90%. So depending on the percentage, this reduction in incidence of serious flu cases of flu will be greater than 25%. It need not be 25%. Only if it is 9%, it will become 25%. Anything less than 9%, it will be more than 25% here. So that is why this option cannot be true, because the passage is not saying exactly 9%, say less than 9%. It means it can be anything between 0 and 9. So this is not a good answer, even though it appears like a good answer. Option D, massive doses of vitamin C can help prevent serious cases of flu. Correct, because when you are taking 1500 mg, it is massive dose, right? So one massive dose of vitamin E when you are taking, you are getting less than 9% people are getting serious cases of flu. So that is a good answer. Keep it in your mind. Option E, balanced diet contains less than 250 mg of vitamin C. Can we say that? Why? If the balanced diet is containing less than 250 mg of vitamin C, this percentage should have been more. It should not be 32%. It should be more than 24%. It should be 40 or something like that. But since it is 32 percentage, we have to assume that balanced diet is containing more than 250 mg of vitamin C. Or another probability is that the second group is taking vitamin C tablets, but they are not having a balanced diet. In such cases also, this can happen. So that is why this option is not going to be correct all the time. We have to explore all the possibilities. So as per the results given to us, this cannot be a good answer. That is why this option also you can ignore. This option also you can ignore. Correct answer is option D, massive doses of vitamin C can help well. This is the only hypothesis that we can generate from whatever idea data is given to us. So you have to look at all the possible angles, only then arrive at the correct answer regarding the hypothesis. So hope you have liked the contents and the explanation, the techniques that we have used in arriving at the answers. So these are all high-level questions. So you have to keep doing these kind of high-level questions to sharpen your logical reasoning skills, because this is going to be very, very important while doing your reading comprehension passages, because the passages contain questions where there is a combination of your comprehension as well as your critical reasoning. So this is why we have been doing these kind of questions. If you have liked the content, please like, share, and subscribe, and keep spreading the word so that I get motivated by your feedback and the number of people who are watching the video and giving. So if you have any suggestions or opinions, please do give in the comments box. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.